everyone, it's time to dig into some one-day cricket. As always, Suneer Chowdhary and I are ready with our preview, analysis and prediction on this first ODI between India and New Zealand. Hey Suneer, hope it's going as good for you as it is for the Indian team.
Well, hi Shruti. The Indian team are at the top of the world in their test ranking. Not sure I'm at the top of the world just yet, but I'm doing good. Thank you, Shruti.
Well, diving quickly into this first ODI between India and New Zealand, what do you think of this change of format?
A bit anticlimactic, I would say, isn't it? Which could be the case because of such a super built up to the 13 test matches that are going to be played in this Indian season, 3 of which have already been played with India winning 3-0. That you almost end up forgetting that there are a few one-day internationals which will be played after each of this series against New Zealand, Australia and England. But a change in the format will also bring about a change in personnel, and that should make it worth the while. The big news is that the new set of selectors have decided to rest Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja, and that substantially weakens the Indian bowling in these conditions, which means their batting might need to take on most of the responsibility. One must not forget that India's ODI record in recent times has not been up to the scratch. Since their semi-final loss in the 2015 World Cup to Australia, they have lost to Bangladesh, Australia and South Africa in ODI series and won just one series, and that came against the lowly ranked Zimbabwean team. So it makes for a very important ODI series for the host as well.
You spoke of a change in personnel for India. Happy with the look of the team?
As I said, the resting of both Ashwin and Jadeja and even Mohammad Shami, in fact, won't help an under-par bowling lineup. I can understand the reasoning behind the need to give them a break with such a long series, a 5 test match series coming up against England, but that only means that their replacements in the playing 11 and in the squad, Akshar Patel, Jayant Yadav and Dhaval Kulkarni, need to stand up and be counted if they get a chance in the playing 11 during this one-day series. I'm also looking forward to the Indian batting, which looks to have a decent core of Kohli, Rohit Sharma, Dhoni and Rane, with Manish Pandey expected to retain his spot after that excellent match-winning century in Australia. I think Rohit aside, Rane is the only other opener in the team, so that should make Captain Dhoni very happy too, having shown his reluctance earlier to bat Rane down the order. Moving on to you, Shruti, what's your call? Will India carry their Test series momentum into this first one-day international?
It doesn't seem to be so easy. So let me explain here. India were comfortable in the test matches. Even in the toughest situations, they managed to get themselves out of it with ease. But in this first ODI, India will have to work a lot harder to overcome some troubled moments. Now, this trouble appears mainly in those end overs, be it in India's batting or bowling. The batsmen will need to be a lot more focused in their acceleration towards the end, and also during their bowling towards the end of New Zealand's innings. Other than those two important times, you will see the aggressive Indian team out there facing a slightly underconfident New Zealand. Now on to New Zealand. They were annihilated in the tests, but this could be a format they enjoy more.
Yes, as you rightly said, they would be slightly underconfident after what happened in the Test series, but there is no doubting about the fact that New Zealand will like this format more than Test match cricket at the moment. Even in the absence of the swashbuckling Brendan McCullum, who is retired from international cricket, they have enough players in their lineup to take over in the white ball format as opposed to Test match cricket. And more importantly, they have a good record going for them recently. They were the finalists in the World Cup, then narrowly went down to England 3-2 and have won 3 series in a row leading up to this one against Sri Lanka, Pakistan and Australia. Must quickly add here though, all those series wins for New Zealand came in New Zealand, so how they go about their business away from home should make for an interesting watch, especially in a country where they have never won an ODI bilateral series, Shruti.
So who do you think will put their hands up for New Zealand to sort out their woes?
Well, I hope Martin Guptill does that for starters. He was given an extended run in the test matches, and despite a run of failures in that format, he seems only half a notch below the starry likes of Kohli, De Villiers, Warner and company in this particular format of the game. He is averaging a whopping 61 in ODI cricket since the end of the World Cup, and it was in the World Cup that he scored a smashing double century against West Indies in the quarterfinals. Kane Williamson should have completely recovered from his illness, and then there are really some really hard hitters of the cricket ball in Corey Anderson, Jimmy Neesham and Luke Ronchi, whoever makes it to the playing 11. Now, bowling wise, too, I think New Zealand are competitive with the return of Tim Southee, who should partner Trent Bolt, while Mitchell Santner and Ish Sodhi add a good spin bowling variety to the squad when it comes to ODI cricket. But I'm not sure whether the pitches during this ODI series, and especially in Dharamsala, where this first one international will be played, will support a lot of spin. Shruti, you had mentioned an underconfident New Zealand side. Will there be no change to how they play from the Test series?
Again, as I've been mentioning this during our test previews, New Zealand aren't doing justice to their skill set. They do show a lot of promise with their bat, and they're really making an effort to fight through some sticky patches. Even with their bowling, Suneer, they are better balanced, but having said all this, they may just be their own worst enemy. It's very possible that they will start to lose balance and go off track from some very good plans. But plans require consistent execution, and that's something I don't see happening. Now, my favorite part. Who are your favorites?
I think your favorite part might not be so much of a favorite for you. When I say that for a change, I'm going to refrain from calling this one. I'm not quite sure because of the rawness of this Indian ODI bowling attack, and that's why I think that New Zealand look like they could have an edge. But home advantage tips the scales back in India's favor to even things out. So I'll have you to do the predicting for this time, Shruti. So who are you going with?
This isn't an easy one for me because both teams falter. It's just that New Zealand falter more. So it's Taro advantage, India.
India it is for Shruti, and with that, it is the end of today's podcast as well. I hope you really liked it. We will be back very soon, but just so that you do not miss out, do subscribe to our channel and follow our Twitter handle as well. Descriptions mentioned in the box below. Ciao.